Chapter 3. Will there be pancakes? Brain tumor. Lex exclaimed in shock. Yes, Mary responded. According to a full-body scan, you have a developing brain tumor which has been interfering with your normal brain chemistry. According to my deduction, this is what has been primarily responsible for your demotivated state for the last 8 months. Other than this, your body is suffering from various minor ailments as a result of poor diet, lack of exercise and other environmental factors. However, this is not a reason for concern. Although the technology on your planet is not able to provide you treatment without inconvenience, in the universe this is but a mild issue. In fact, in some developed galactic civilizations this is not even considered a medical issue, as normal foods and drinks in those civilizations can resolve this issue. Actually, simply elevating your cultivation level can also cure you of it. Lex was relieved to hear Mary, but suddenly he was incredibly motivated to start the Midnight Inn. Although Mary said it was not a reason for alarm, he was incredibly alarmed. Open the starter pack. Starter pack opening. Starter pack opened. You have received initial building permit 5,000 square feet, 2-story Midnight Inn design interface * host attire * 2i1 month lease certificate * fancy monocle * universal language converter * bathroom slippers * self-defense butter knife * 3 golden tickets * 500 midnight points. Lex got 10 items from the pack, and though he was still mostly filled with anxiety, a tinge of excitement crept in. He selected the items to look at their details. Initial building permit. A permit that allows host to design Midnight Inn building and layout without spending any midnight points. Decor and design options are limited, and the final blueprint must contain 1 boundary wall, 1 lobby, 1 eatery, 1 lounge, 3 guest rooms and an outdoor seating area. The building can have 1 additional level after ground level. Midnight Inn design interface. Once the inn has been established, all expansion, renovation and redecoration must be done manually by host. The interface will allow host to carry out those functions at the cost of midnight points. Host attire. The Midnight Inn has many functions and features which can be seamlessly used by host when wearing host attire within the premises of the inn. Using these functions otherwise would have to be carried out manually step by step through the system by host. Please note, the host attire also carries a design feature so its appearance can be altered according to the theme of the inn, and also has an invulnerable feature, meaning it cannot take damage. Please note, the attire does not serve as a defense item for the host. Please note, to protect the host's identity, the attire contains the Clark Kent effect, meaning guests who have seen the host in the attire will not recognize him if they meet him outside the inn. The attire cannot leave inn property. 2i1 month lease certificate. Running an establishment requires a large staff with various skills. This certificate will allow the user to rent 2 highly skilled and competent AI that will follow the host's demands. The host will have to make other arrangement for when the certificate expires. Fancy monocle. The prestige of the inn is carried by the host. The host will be expected to encounter various types of clients and situations and may need help identifying different items or materials. Note, the monocle's database is empty and must be filled by the host. The database can be filled by manually entering data, reading new data while having the monocle equipped, or connecting it to another database. The monocle can retrieve data from any format. Universal language converter. A small device that analyzes language based on various factors. It can be attached onto the host as a tattoo behind an ear and can translate to and for host in real time. The host will hear everything in English and others will hear the host in their native language. Bathroom slippers. Entering different areas requires different kinds of preparation. Equip the bathroom slippers while leaving the inn in foreign environments to protect yourself from hazardous environments. Note, the slipper only provides protection from environment and does not act as a defensive item. Self-defense butter knife. The universe is a dangerous place and not all guests come with honest intentions. The self-defense butter knife can be used to instantly kill all beings Foundation realm and below. The butter knife carries a secondary function of intimidation, which is to let others think the host is so strong he can kill with a simple butter knife. The butter knife carries a tertiary function, which is that beings on over Naxent realm will appreciate the host's choice at cutlery and will think of it as an actual butter knife. The butter knife cannot leave the inn. The butter knife can be upgraded. Please increase authority for instructions on how to upgrade the butter knife. 3 golden tickets. The physical location of the inn is a secret, but its doors can be opened from anywhere. With a golden ticket, the host can choose a world where entrances to the inn can spawn randomly. 500 midnight points. The host opened a starter pack, not a nanny pack. Please use the points in the Midnight Store to solve all miscellaneous issues. Quest update. Quest complete. The host is rewarded with nothing. Remarks. You don't get rewards for doing something as basic as breathing. New quest. Develop the Midnight Inn. Lex raised an eyebrow at the sassy attitude of the system but ignored it. Reading the details for each item, his attention was brought to something he had just overlooked. What are the cultivation levels? He asked, although he had some basic idea. In the vast universe exist many kinds of lifeforms, each with different capabilities and power structures. Some are naturally strong enough to traverse the universe, while others are so weak they die after being exposed to a gust of wind. The process of enhancing oneself so that they become stronger and are able to interact with a higher level of existence is known as cultivation. The first few cultivation levels are mortal, body tempering, chi training and foundation realm. To learn more about cultivation levels, increase your authority. How can I increase my cultivation level? Lex asked. I am unable to answer this question. I only have specific knowledge of things related to Midnight Inn. Understanding cultivation levels is relevant to customers, which is why I have some basic knowledge, however I have no information regarding how to alter someone's power level. I can only suggest the host complete quests and collect Midnight Points. Midnight Points can be used to redeem various items and prizes. Pretty standard, Lex thought to himself. After mentally reviewing all the items he received as well as their uses one more time, he prepared himself to begin. He had to admit, despite his anxiety over his brain tumor, he felt a tinge of excitement that he hadn't felt in a long time. How do I withdraw an item? He asked. They can be withdrawn simply by thinking about it. All items given to you by the inn are stored at the inn, and can be stored or withdrawn at will. With a thought he withdrew his monocle and appreciated it closely. At a glance there was nothing magical about it, a thin gold rim with a small loop on the side through which a petite gold chain was passed. After looking at it for a while he put it on over his left eye. Database empty appeared in his vision, floating in the air, yet somehow the words did not obstruct his vision or distract him in the least. It was as if instead of having to read the words, the information was passed directly to his brain. Lex gave a slight nod before taking off the monocle and walking towards his PC. The monocle, as if already understanding his intention, swung out of his hands and landed neatly on top of it. The end of the chain transformed into a USB port which fit itself into the computer. A pop-up appeared on his screen which said, "Updating database." It was all quite convenient. Lex only worried about what his internet bill might be after it was done updating. In theory he had unlimited data, and that theory was probably going to be put to the test. With another thought, an A4-sized paper appeared in his hand which boldly had the word, "Permit," imprinted on it. After a moment, the piece of paper started to glow brightly, and when he finally recovered his sight he found himself floating in the air. Around him was an endless sea of clouds and directly beneath him a plot of land that would belong to his inn. With another thought the Midnight Inn design interface appeared around him. As if in a video game, a panel appeared on the left side of his field of view with icons such as construction, landscaping, fauna, flora, furniture, decor, weather and many more he could not see in detail because they were grayed out. The excitement in his heart that had been a small tinge now expanded and overwhelmed him. Now, how should he style his inn? What kinds of incredible scenes will he bring out for his guests from across the universe in his establishment, and most importantly, will there be pancakes?